Hello and welcome to Splats App Basics. In this short video, we're going to go through get logged into the app, connect our Splats, run an example game, and point out our virtual Splats app and our tutorial for you to try later. So let's head over and get started. Today, we're working in our Unruly Splats app on the Chrome browser, but it's also available on iOS for iPads, and you can use the Chrome browser on like laptops, MacBooks, all those sorts of things that run the Chrome browser. To get signed in, you'll use your username and password, which were provided to you by your school success person here at Unruly. If you can't find your login for any reason, just reach out to us either via email or our chat on our website, unrulysplats.com, and we'll be happy to make sure you have everything you need. So here at app.unrulysplats.com, I'm going to sign in with Unruly Teacher. You're usually like school name splatters, something like that. In this account, you're going to see that we have a lot of profiles and a lot of groups. All of this we'll talk about more in our Classroom Manager video coming up a little bit later, but for now, we're going to make ourselves a new profile just to get started and show off our app today. I'm going to generate a random one because they're a lot of fun, and I'm going to keep going until I find one I really like. You can also just use your first name and last name. That's a lot easier to find later, but Honeydew Rhinoceros I think needs to come home with me. So I'm going to go and put it in my group. And again, you set up groups and all of those things in the Classroom Manager, which is exclusive to the teacher side of the app. This side is the student side. You can't add groups, you can't modify groups, you can only make and move your profiles around. When we make our profile, it'll pull it up to load. When we hit load, it'll drop us into the app. Now, that's only the first time you log in that you want to make a profile. Every other time, now I could grab Honeydew Rhinoceros and sign in, and all of my games will be there for me. So this is the app. On the very far left-hand side, we have this blue bar, which we call the Command Center. And I have a splat here in front of me too. So the Command Center has 6 spots for splats. Each splat has above it a score, so you can use that score in your games, a connection toggle, an identifier. So this is splat 1, a score 0, and it's not connected. Anything you do in your app that changes the physical splats will also change these virtual splats here. So if you want to click on this splat, it'll act like a splat being pressed in real life. You can see what lights are happening, whether or not it's playing sounds, all of that on the Command Center. Next to the Command Center, you'll see our virtual block trays. Our block trays are each separated by type and have the blocks in them that you'll use to code. These blocks do everything that the splats do for themselves. So you just pull a block out onto the screen, and depending on how they're snapped together and what order they're in, they will perform all of the functions that you'll see with splats being used for. So if I have a when splat pressed, and I say I want to light splat number 1 color when I press my splat, I can change that color to a random color. And now every time I press splat 1, it'll change a different color. The next part of the app is in the top right-hand corner. We call it the app tray. These 4 buttons from the top down are the app tray with its four blocks. The next one down makes a new game, empties your screen to make you a new project. The down arrow bucket is our save game. And then the 4th one down is our virtual splats app, which we'll talk about at the end of this video. Inside the app tray, you've got your settings, your profiles, your saved projects, and our example games. So let's load an example game. Our example game list has a large number of pre-built games and all different kinds of subjects. So say you want an active arcade game, a sports game, a math game, you can just click on your activity here, or you can search for one that you've used before by its name, or you'll see them each individually. When you click on any of these, it'll pop up a screen that shows you how to play the game. In this case, my color pair match, it shows me my rules, and then a little GIF of how to play the game. On every one of these, you'll see a little picture of how the game works with its rules. And when you click load, it'll load in all of the blocks that you need to play that game. So I'm going to look for a game called Race in Place. And on Race in Place, it generally uses 2 splats, and it's as simple as 1 foot on either splat and just running in place as fast as you can. And when I press load, it'll ask me to save the blocks I just pulled out. I don't want to save those. And then I have all of the blocks I need for my game. When I want to play my game, I'll go to the top left-hand corner, and I can press my run button. With this game, it waits for 10 seconds, plays a sound, and every time I stomp on a splat, I get a score. It changes my color until the 10 seconds are up, when I no longer get my points. So you hit run, everybody starts at the same time. Running in place, every time you press, you get a point, and then every time you press, you also change colors. So if I want to run that game, I press run, and you'll see it's working on the side. Stop button lights up because the app is running. My little game is running. When I press the stop button, it stops the code. I can change my code, do whatever I need to, and then come back to it. So let me connect a Splat to do this in real life. So I've got my Splat here. I learned a little bit about Splats in the last video, but I'm going to turn my Splat on. And then I want this Splat to go in slot 1. So I toggle the slot. You'll see a Splat appear in your list. On the iPad, you just toggle and it connects automatically, but on Chrome, you click pair, and it will pair right up. Let's do that one more time, just so you can see it work again. To disconnect a Splat, you turn off the Splat or toggle your little switch over. Turn my Splat back on. Makes its happy startup sound. This time I'm going to put it into slot 2 because I want to use just Splat number 2 this time. When I toggle the little switch, my window pops up. I click on the Splat in the list that I want to connect to, and then I click my pair button. When it makes its happy connect sound, it's ready to go. So now that we have our Splat connected to Splat 2, all we have to do is hit run, and our game will play on the Splat. Instead of being on the screen, it's on the physical Splat. If I want to play again, I just hit run again and go from there. Now we've played that with our physical Splat. Let's turn our physical Splat off and try it with the virtual Splat. So that 4th button down is our virtual Splats app. It'll kind of fly in from the side. You'll notice these Splats look exactly like our physical Splats in person. When I hit the run button here, they'll behave the same way. And I just run, clicking, and I get my points exactly the same way. You can add more Splats in for games that use more Splats, or take away Splats if you don't need them. You can also grow and shrink and change backgrounds, add stickers for your games, all of that fun stuff. The only other part I want to talk about in this first video is our tutorial. So when I open the app tray, you might have seen that there are a few different features, settings for volume, all that, battery checkup. In the tutorials window, you'll pop up our little tutorial. This is our first ask, our first thing you can try on your own. Get into the app here and try the Splat Basics tutorial. When you click on a tutorial, it'll pop up a series of images and a series of tasks step by step, which will take you through your first steps with Splats. And this was our very basic Splats app basics video. If you have any questions, we have a few more videos coming, or reach out to us anytime for help. That's what we're here for. Thank you.